time.
في وقت عصيب لفلسطين، إن غزة تتعرض لضغط هائل، فإرهاب الدولة وعنف المستوطنين يضيق الخناق على غزة والضفة الغربية، وهذا هجوم مباشر. انقطع الصوت. ونود أن نحيي صمود الشعب الفلسطيني ونؤكد مجددا تضامننا الثابت مع قضيتهم العادلة من أجل تحقيق الحرية والسلم والاستقرار وإنشاء دولتهم، ولكن التضامن وحده لا يكفي اليوم. ما يحتاجه الفلسطينيون أكثر من أي وقت مضى هو عملنا الجماعي. إن الحضور القوي والمستوى الرفيع في هذه الدورة الاستثنائية تمثل دليلا بالغا على وحدتنا. إن حشد المجتمع الدولي برمته لا غنى عنه، وهذا الاجتماع يركز على 3 مهام عاجلة: إيقاف الحرب، وإيجاد رد فعل موحد للأمة الإسلامية، ثم حشد المجتمع الدولي. وإذا ما أخذنا ما يحدث على الأرض ونحن نتحدث الآن، فنجد أن العدوان الإسرائيلي والإبادة البشرية تستمر، وغزة تعاني، حيث يعاني نصف مليون نسمة من الجوع الكارثي، والأمم المتحدة قد أعلنت عن المجاعة في غزة. هذه ليست كارثة وطنية، إنما إعاقة إسرائيل المتعمد لإيصال المعونات يهدد باستمرار المجاعة. وقد واصلت إسرائيل سجلها الذي يعد وصمة عار، حيث يتعرض الملايين من الفلسطينيين للمعاناة الجمة. ففي القدس الاستفزازات المتطرفة، منها استفزازات وزراء إسرائيليين تمثل إثالة إلى المسجد الأقصى، ولا بد من إيقاف ذلك. وأولوياتنا هي أن نضمن وقف دائم لإطلاق النار وضمان إيصال المساعدات الإنسانية. وحماس قد قبلت بخطة وقف إطلاق النار الذي اقترحها إخواننا في مصر وقطر، وندعم هذه المبادرة التي تبذلها وتقدمها.
The awareness of the international community is growing. Public opinion in Western societies has finally begun to shift. The tide is turning against Israel's policies of occupation and oppression. The high-level conference in New York, co-chaired by Saudi Arabia and France in July, marked a historic milestone that rallied global support for the two-state solution. Many countries, including France, UK, Canada, and Australia, announced they would recognize the state of Palestine. These belated but valuable steps should be welcomed. In this regard, we commend the work of the OIC Arab League Gaza Contact Group, whose efforts were crucial in mobilizing key actors to recognize Palestine's statehood. These achievements prove that our collective efforts work for us. Step by step, the recognition of the state of Palestine is becoming an irreversible reality. Yet, recognition is not sufficient alone. Strong, coordinated pressure is needed to compel Israel toward a permanent solution. The upcoming UN General Assembly will be a defining moment to this end. As the conscience of the Ummah, the OIC must grasp this moment to speak and act with one powerful voice. Another vital dimension is strengthening the institutions of the State of Palestine. They need financial, technical, and institutional support to stand on firm ground. Distinguished colleagues, if a ceasefire is not secured soon, Israel will continue its occupation plans and escalate its atrocities. Therefore, we must join our efforts in sustaining and expanding the momentum for Palestine's recognition, launching an initiative within the UN for Palestine's full membership, while also considering the suspension of Israel from the work of the General Assembly, preparing for the day after by committing to the reconstruction and rehabilitation of Gaza under the Arab Islamic plan. Turkey will continue to do its utmost on all of these fronts. Excellencies, let us not forget the OIC was born to defend Al-Aqsa Mosque and to safeguard the Palestinian cause. Any weakness on these fronts risks eroding our very reason of existence. Furthermore, Israel's aggression will not stop with Palestine. The frequent unlawful attacks of the Netanyahu regime on Syria, Lebanon, and Iran reveal a broader and sinister agenda to destabilize our entire region. If not stopped, this reckless course threatens to engulf the Middle East and beyond. Let our resolution today be a pledge. Palestine will endure, and its people, inshallah, will attain freedom, justice, and peace. Thank you very much. Now I would like to give the floor to my dear colleague, Saying Modun Nice, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation, and Gambians Abroad, to deliver his speech on behalf of the Gambia, Chair of the 15th Islamic Summit. Please, brother, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Your Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Chairman of the Arab Islamic Ministerial Committee, Your Excellency Ambassador Hussein Barham Taha, Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Your Excellency Dr. Riyad Manzoor, Minister and Permanent Representative of the State of Palestine to the United Nations, Excellencies, colleague ministers, Excellencies, Assistant Secretary General of the OIC, distinguished heads of and representative of the subcommittee and organs and affiliation institution of the OIC, distinguished delegates. It is with great honor in my capacity as Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Gambia to join you for the first time at this very important and timely extraordinary meeting of the OIC Council of Foreign Ministers. First and foremost, I extend to you special greetings and best wishes on behalf of His Excellency Mr. Adam Barrow, current chair of the 15th Islamic Summit, the government and the people of the Republic of the Gambia, and indeed on my own behalf. My delegation would also like to express sincere gratitude and heartfelt appreciation to the custodians of the two holy mosques, His Majesty King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud and the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. May Allah preserve them, for the generous hospitality and facilities placed at our disposal since our arrival in this holy kingdom. We also seize this opportunity to thank His Excellency, the OIC Secretary General and his team for efficiently and diligently facilitating and coordinating the work of our organization in pursuit of the aspirations of our Ummah. Mr. Chairman, today the situation in Palestine, especially in Gaza and the entire Middle East, requires urgent action. The situation is becoming more dire by the day after almost 2 years of war, loss of human lives, and the destruction against the people of Gaza Strip and the Palestinians. Our meeting today should produce concrete outcomes that are meant to positively change the lives and livelihoods of our Palestinian brothers and sisters. The continuation of Israeli military actions and aggressions, forceful displacement of the Palestinian people, and the killings and the destruction of properties would not help in actualizing peace and security for the entire region. The humanitarian catastrophe currently in Gaza and other Palestinian territories are both profound and devastating, with far-reaching consequences not only for the region, but also for the Muslim Ummah and the international community at large. The unlawful Israeli occupation has disproportionately affected the most vulnerable population. Many children have been orphaned and separated from their families, facing trauma and lack of access to education, health facilities, shelter, sanitation, and food, causing long-lasting effects in their development and the future stability of the region. Reports have revealed that more than 300,000 children in Gaza are facing famine, death, because of the serious blockage imposed by the Israeli occupation forces. The continuous blockage and obstruction of humanitarian aid, including targeting of aid convoys and humanitarian workers by the Israeli forces, remain a very serious concern and a violation of international human law as prohibited under the relevant Geneva Convention and their additional protocol, as well as the Rome Statute of International Criminal Court. Gaza's economy has been weakened by years of blockage and continuous destruction, affecting all infrastructure, facilities such as hospitals, roads, factories, public utilities, and farms that are critical to economic activities. The escalation of the conflict and tension in Gaza, the West Bank, and areas along the Lebanon-Israel border, including Iran's risk broader regional instability. Mr. Chairman, the dire situation in Gaza calls for an urgent and coordinated international response to alleviate human sufferings, protect human rights, and foster a durable peace that addresses the root cause of the conflict. It is crucial for us to come together in full solidarity, unite to ensure that humanitarian aid reaches those that are in need, and work towards a sustainable political situation that promotes peace and security for all the people in the region. Therefore, with the current unprecedented and unfortunate situation in Palestine and the Middle East region, the Gambia continues to strongly call for serious soul-searching and restoring trust through fulfilling the collective commitment we make as the international community and the Palestinian people, and the maintenance of international peace and security globally. Our organization must continue to be inspired by its historical mission of pursuing a just cause for the Palestinian people. Mr. Chairman, as emphasized at the recent high-level international conference on Palestine at the United Nations in New York, The Gambia reiterates and reaffirms once again its full support to the Palestinian Authority and people, and call on the international community to exercise and engaging the obligation by engaging Israel to abide by the tenets of international law, the peace process, the implementation of the UN Security Council resolution, particularly Resolution 2334, to ensure peaceful settlement of the Palestinian people. In this regard, the Gambia strongly reaffirms the need and urgency for the international community to accompany the Palestinian people to regain their legitimate national rights as recognized by the international community through the recognition of the state of Palestine within the 1967 borders, with Al-Quds and Al-Sharif, Eastern Jerusalem, as its capital. We also remain concerned and seriously condemned, the attack on the mosque and other religious and historical sites in the occupied Palestinian territories, and call on the Israelis and all OIC member states and the international community to collectively protect the sanctity of all the holy sites in the occupied Palestinian territory. Mr. Chairman, the best option for a peaceful and durable settlement of this prolonged dispute between the two states is a peace accord based on the two-state solution, guaranteeing both states their legitimate and inalienable rights to full sovereignty and self-determination within an atmosphere of mutual respect, trust, and confidence. We must not relent in our efforts to achieve these objectives. The Gambia therefore reiterates its call for the continued mobilization of support for the full global recognition and UN membership of the State of Palestine. In this regard, we once again congratulate the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Republic of France for the successful coordinating and co-chairing the recent UN high-level conference on Palestine and the implementation of the two-state solution. Mr. Chairman, as we commit ourselves to the deliberation of this session, my delegation wishes to express its full support of the resolution under consideration today. The people of Palestine, particularly those in Gaza, have suffered enough. We must act now and consolidate our resolve to address the plight of the Palestinian people and defend the image and status of Al-Quds Al-Sharif. Mr. Chairman, in conclusion, let me assure this August gathering that the Gambia affirms its support for the efforts by the OIC, the United Nations, and all stakeholders geared towards finding a peaceful settlement of the Palestinians. These are challenging times, but when we cooperate and work together with a strong spirit of true OIC solidarity, there is no issue that we cannot solve. Our gathering today should be remembered for galvanizing international efforts towards addressing our collective desire for finding a permanent solution to the Palestinians and ensuring peace and security globally. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, brother. Your emphasis on the ending impunity for Israel's atrocities is vital for justice. I now invite my dear brother Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Chair of the OIC Arab League Joint Ministerial Committee, to deliver his speech. Please, brother, the floor is yours.
Microphone, please. In the name of Allah, the Lord of Mercy, Giver of Mercy, Your Excellencies, Your Highnesses, Your Excellency, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Turkey, Chair of the meeting, the Chair of the Islamic Summit, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the OIC Secretary General, dear audience. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's my pleasure to welcome you and thank you for your participation in this extraordinary meeting in consideration and in solidarity of our brothers in Palestine who are subjected to the most barbaric forms of starvation, killing, and all forms of oppression. We are here because we are convinced that the practices of the Israeli occupation are the main threat of peace and security. We are here today determined to confront this threat through uniting our ranks and coordinating our stances and improving our joint Islamic action. The unprecedented aggression by Israel against the occupied Palestinian territory, especially the Gaza Strip, in flagrant violation of all humanitarian and international norms, and it's no secret that the flagrant violations by the Israeli occupation authorities are unprecedented in a very systematic manner, and their refusal to provide access to the humanitarian aid. The international community immediately should put an end to the crimes committed by the Israeli occupation and categorically refuse the intention of the Israeli occupation to impose its sovereignty on the Gaza Strip. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia also asserts the importance of taking all measures and steps to break the siege and to provide unhindered access to humanitarian assistance, and urge the occupying power to provide all measures to provide access to this assistance, and provide also support to the UNRWA and all UN agencies working in the occupied Palestinian territory. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia reiterates its condemnation of the statements recently issued by the Prime Minister of Israel regarding the Greater Israel Vision and its categorical refusal of the expansionist projects adopted by the Israeli occupation authorities, and asserts the historical right of the Palestinian people to have their sovereign state. And we call to the uniting of the international community to empower the Palestinian people and its authorities, especially through supporting the Palestinian government. And we request the international community to impose and force the Israeli occupation to release the illegally held tax reviews. And the Islamic Arab Ministerial Committee will continue to crystallize and galvanize international support to establish the sovereign Palestinian state on the 1967 borders, and support the efforts of Qatar and Egypt to reach a ceasefire in Gaza and provide humanitarian access and humanitarian aid to the Gazans. We also support the measures taken to implement the two-state solution through the coalition toward this end and the high-level international conference co-chaired by Saudi Arabia and France. The number of countries intending to recognize the state of Palestine, in addition to the Asian and African countries, in addition to European countries and South America. This asserts that the violations undertaken by Israel are rejected by the majority of the international community, and those who are still hesitant to put an end to this impunity should take another course. And the continuation of this impunity will undermine international system and the rules of international law, and undermine the multilateral opportunities for cooperation and international legitimacy, and would expand the cycle of violence and undermine the peace and security not only in this region but the entire world. In conclusion, we hope that our meeting today will reach a tangible conclusion that would support peace and security and stability in the region, and put an end to the cycle of violence, and diffuse all the efforts on this opposite in order to have prosperity for all our people. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for holding this extraordinary meeting of the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the OIC upon our request and other member states regarding the unprecedented grave developments related to Gaza and the decision of the Israeli occupation authorities to storm it and impose their control on its entirety. At the outset, I would like to convey to you the thanks of the Palestinian people and its leadership and President Mahmoud Abbas to the custodian of the two holy mosques and to his royal crown prince for their unprecedented support for the Palestinian issue and the inalienable rights of our people to self-determination and the sovereignty of the state of Palestine on the borders of the 4th of June 1967 with Al-Quds Sharif at its capital and the return of the refugees. Mr. Chair, we would like also to express our heartfelt thanks for your presence today and for your support and for the General Secretariat of the OIC and its Secretary General for their commendable efforts. Mr. Chair, Israel seeks to impose its full military sovereignty on the Gaza Strip and extend this war and prevent the establishment of the sovereign Palestinian state and implement their declared plans in all their forms against the Palestinian people. The Israeli government has asserted this unequivocally once and again and proved long ago that it has nothing to do with the fate of the prisoners, and this recent decision is another evidence. The statement of the Prime Minister of Israel regarding the Greater Israel vision from the Nile to the Euphrates, which we condemn in the strongest words, and we should all undermine it, is another proof of this aggression which aims to affect the entire region. And it's noteworthy as well the adoption of the illegal small treaty plan regarding settlement expansion. It approved another settlement project called E1 that includes thousands of settlement units in Al-Quds and its environs, which would lead, if implemented, to the separation of the holy city from its Palestinian surroundings, as well as the annexation of the occupied West Bank, which will undermine the implementation of the two-state solution. However, Mr. Chair, we cannot face this illegal plan, and this unethical plan cannot be faced only by rage or condemnations. This requires the galvanization of all our tools and instruments to put an end to it. Israel has proven long time ago that it doesn't care about the UN Charter or international law or the UN resolutions relevant to the Palestinian issue unless they are accompanied by consequences and accountability. What will force Israel to change its course is our united ability, according to our sovereign country's intentions, to convert the condemnations into tangible actions that will achieve justice and improve the solidarity and resilience of the Palestinian people on their land, and providing all requirements for this resilience to put an end to the injustice inflicted on these people. In this context, the high-level international conference, co-chaired by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and France, has adopted an international plan that will start with ending the use of starvation as a weapon and to put an end to the war on Gaza through final ceasefire and the release of the prisoners and the withdrawal of Israel fully from the Gaza Strip and support the Arab Islamic plan for reconstruction of Gaza and holding a conference in Cairo on this matter after the stoppage of the aggression. This plan expected that the Palestinian Authority will continue its governmental and security mission in the Gaza Strip with international and regional support. In line with the end of the war against Gaza and the establishment of a sovereign state of Palestine, the plan also delineates an irreversible road towards the establishment of the sovereign Palestinian state that will lead to peace and security as well as regional integration. Mr. Chair, we commend some brave voices which are against the genocide and thus starvation used by Israel against the Palestinians, and in this regard we thank the UN Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, for his brave stances, including the recent statement he mentioned regarding the famine in Gaza, calling for its immediate stoppage after it was confirmed by relevant international organizations officially for the first time. The Palestinian side has provided plans and proposals and cooperated with all the efforts that aim to facilitate reaching an end of war agreement, and now we all have to act in all possible ways, including under Chapter 7 of the UN Security Council, to deprive Israel of the tools that will enable it to continue this barbaric war and hold it accountable for its crimes, and to send an international protection force immediately to save the Palestinian people. Mr. Chair, there is no doubt that the inaccountability of Israel is the thing that has led it to do what it's doing. Palestine is ready to work with all its stakeholders, brothers and friends, as well as with the US administration and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and France, the Arab League, the OIC, and the members of the UN Security Council, as well as other international and regional partners, to put an end of the barbaric war against the Palestinian people and put an end to the bloodshed. Our actions today, Mr. Chair, will determine the fate of millions of people tomorrow. Let me reiterate, our acts today will determine the fate of millions of people tomorrow. At least those who will be still alive by that time. Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, Palestine is calling. Al-Quds is calling. Al-Masjid al-Aqsa is calling. The first Qibla and the third of the three holy mosques. Gaza, the symbol of pain, grief, blood, starvation, and destruction, is calling. The West Bank is calling. Palestine and its people and its leadership, know that you are with them and that our call will be heard and supported from you, and that you are our people and our back, and you have the necessary tools to achieve what is required and make our rights a reality, and you will activate these tools. Thank you, Mr. Chair. الأمين العام.
efforts on different places in the face of the aggression committed by Israel and the crimes, mainly military aggression and genocide, ethnic cleansing, forced displacement of the population, and the systematic destruction and the illegal blockade of the Gaza Strip, which is happening currently, and where starvation is used as a war weapon, and policies of colonization, annexation, and attacks on holy sites, and mainly on Al-Quds al-Sharif. So this is why we actually hold Israel to be accountable for these hostile activities towards the Muslim world, and we condemn the declaration and the intention to impose a military attack, a total military siege on the Gaza Strip, and we also condemn the declaration of the Israeli Prime Minister, who calls for the Greater Israel vision, and this is particularly a violation of international law and of the UN Charter. We also condemn the proposal to construct or to build a colony on the eastern zone and the occupied city of Al-Quds, and in addition to targeting journalists in the Gaza Strip. And this goes of course against international law and penal law. So the international community should take its responsibility, should assume its responsibility in order to stop the blockade and to allow for a good flow of humanitarian assistance and aid. UNRWA plays a very important role at the financial level, legal level, and political level. So we need to work on in order to impose a ceasefire, and also to stop the occupation of the occupied territories, and to hold the rebuilding or reconstruction conference in Cairo. We are following on the outcomes of the high-level conference in order to come to a peaceful settlement, and which was held and chaired by Saudi Arabia and attended by France, and we support the final document of this conference, and we also support the declaration made by many countries to recognize the state of Palestine. We call on other member states to do the same and to support this initiative. We also hope that this session will actually come out with important measures in order to stop the Israeli aggression and to allow the Palestinian people to exercise their rights, including the establishment of a state, of an independent state on the borders of the 4th of June 1967, with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. And in addition to the right of return for refugees in accordance with the relevant UN resolutions. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hold before we start our closed session. I think they are all moved, huh?